Oh yes, this is a very wonderful news coming from Sokoto. The way the U.S. airstrike bombard the terrorists, how they destroy the terrorists in Sokoto, the way they destroy everything about them, and already Donald Trump has been warning them for how many months now, and been telling them to stop buying of Christians and to stop buying of people in the state, but they refuse. So, in this video, you are going to hear every details concerning how they started and how they later plan to send the bomb against those terrorists that is disturbing everywhere. So, and this interview is from Channel TV. So, in this interview, Rufai and the other people on the on the station, they explain a lot of details concerning how the US government and the Nigerian government and other sectors carry out those attacks against the terrorists, so that they will understand that time have come for them, for people and for the government to look into the activities, into what they are doing in the northern states, and not only in the north, the whole of Nigeria. So as you're about to watch the video, try to like, subscribe and share the video to go and let others see what is really happening in Nigeria, and don't skip any part of it. Try to watch to the end for you to understand everything happening in this video, because this video is very, very interesting, and it will reveal to you a lot of secrets concerning what is really going on in Nigeria.
With the nation reacting to the multiple surprise Christmas Day strikes launched in what has been described as a joint operation between the United States and Nigeria against the Islamic State in the northwestern state of Sokoto. The attack was announced in a series of messages, statements, and videos released overnight from both governments on Thursday, which began with a post from US President Donald Trump on his Truth Social profile, in which he stated that the attack came at his direction as Commander-in-Chief. And I'll read Trump's statement. He wrote, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes, as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorists to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continue." And this was a very powerful message from Donald Trump. Yesterday, we were all sleeping when this message came out. Well, here is a footage from the operation showing what officials describe as a divisive strike against the terror group on Christmas night. Well, U.S. authorities have warned that further strikes will follow if the violence against Christians continues. But, this message was, gathered a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of Nigerians, didn't really understand whether or not the strike came at the order of the U.S. president, like he has written, or as a joint operation, which we have seen from the Nigerian government. And I'll take this tweet from Characteristics, who wrote, "I am almost convinced that the response from Nigeria's foreign affairs was an afterthought. Clearly, the United States cannot be restrained from eliminating notorious terrorists. President Trump's statement did not suggest that the operation was carried out in collaboration with the Nigerian government. His words were explicit. at my direction as commander-in-chief, not in partnership with Nigeria. Let's even assume, without conceding, that the Nigerian government was aware of the operation. Why then did the statement not come directly from the president himself, using the same authoritative language at my directive as commander-in-chief? I be president, they sleep. Sleep where he no sleep when INEC declare him president at 3 a.m. I strongly doubt that the Nigerian government was aware of the timing of the targeted strike. The public should not be deceived by after the fact statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What we are witnessing looks more like reactive diplomacy than proactive security leadership. And I'm reading this tweet because this is the minds of a lot of Nigerians who rightly believe that this might not be a joint, attack. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth confirmed the launch in a post on X, thanking the Nigerian government for cooperating with the United States on the attack. And here is Pete's tweet. He wrote, "The president was clear last month. The killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere must end. At the Department of War is always ready. So ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for Nigerian government support and cooperation. Merry Christmas." Even AFCOM released a statement, and I'll read that. They wrote, "At the direction of the President of the United States and Secretary of War, and in coordination with Nigerian authorities, U.S. Africa Command conducted strikes against ISIS terrorists in Nigeria on December 25th, 2025 in Sokoto State." Another confirmation there. Also, the Nigerian military has also confirmed conducting the precision strikes against ISIS elements in northwest Nigeria. In a statement released today, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samilia Uba, said the operation was a joint effort between the armed forces of Nigeria and the United States, adding that the strikes were approved by federal government authorities and followed credible intelligence aimed at degrading the terrorist group's capability. Well, in this same statement, the Nigerian army reiterated its commitment to restoring peace and security across Nigeria. And I'll take this final tweet, a reaction that, gladdened my heart. Lucky wrote on X, "Yes, this is good news. Reports confirm U.S. airstrikes against ISIS elements in Sokoto State carried out in coordination with Nigeria." Beyond the headlines, this is a strong statement against terrorism and a reminder that global security is interconnected. For a nation bruised by insurgency, banditry, and bloodshed, disrupting extremist networks is no small win. If peace is the greatest gift any country can receive, then degrading terror cells that prey on innocent lives may be one of the most meaningful gifts Nigeria gets this season. Security first, everything else follows. Finally, on ground in Jabo village of Sokoto State, a new video showing the debris from the aftermath of the missile launch on the terrorists has made the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
We just want to if there is something please give us
that's the actual thing that is happening in Jabo town now. And so we're gonna bomb going to Nigeria, the house.
All right, that's a reaction on ground. The villagers have said that there was no casualty in this incident. However, this video highlights the human impact of these attacks and how ordinary citizens often have to deal with the consequences of the aftermath. And I'll take one final post on X. This person wrote, Why bomb northwest Nigeria on Christmas, claiming to protect Christians, when experts say most killings there are from bandits fighting over land and resources, killing way more Muslims? And that's another rhetoric that we have to deal with this whole intervention.
Very important for information management and ensuring that only the fact is what is being shared at this point in time, because we've seen a number of responses to these attacks. The first thing is that the first fact on ground is that it was a joint operation. Yes, you might criticize or not like the way in which the information was shared or the timing or who shared the information first, as I've just seen the PDP statement on these attacks, whereby I thought it was quite good to say that when it comes to joint operations like this, Nigeria ought to take the lead, or at least share that responsibility to ensure that we're not hearing about what's happening on our own soil by a foreign party, even if it's the United States of America. So you can take that feedback away. But consistently, whether it's from the military, Director of Defense Information, or from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it is clear that Nigeria worked with the United States by providing credible intelligence and by approving the airstrikes before it happened. That's the statement on ground. That's what happened. It's important to put that out there. Now, I think it's also very dangerous to try to put a slant to it, so that, it's Christian, there's terrorism. And when we talk about terrorism, it makes sense, or it's the sensible thing to note is that it's not only where they operate that their cells are located. You can operate in the northeast and have cells in the northwest. And what we had said was that this was done after weeks of intelligence gathering, and so a response was done with regards to the first airstrikes. It has been said that this is the first, potentially the first of a number of airstrikes if we do have issues around this instance. So I think it's important to put those facts out there. Another thing to mention that's important is that when we talk about the region most affected by terrorism and acts of terrorism, it's the northern region. And so the most important things on the mind of the people should be this: how does this affect us? Would this be finally a light at the end of this long tunnel of insecurity that we have had to endure for at least 15 years? And if that is the case, then all hands should be on deck to support the efforts of the Nigerian government to finally decimate the terrorists. The only other thing to then talk about is the number of casualties in terms of collateral damage. Yes, this is a thing because in the past we've seen where Nigerian Air Force strikes themselves, whether in Zamfara earlier this year or last year in the same Sokoto on Christmas Day, had in a few some civilian casualties. Every single Nigerian life matters. So what they're saying is that the reason why they keep using the word precision is that it was precise to attack the terrorists themselves with as minimum as possible civilian collateral damage. This is the fact on ground currently. The most important thing, OG, is that finally we see a seriousness and a deliberateness to destroy and decimate terrorism and terrorists in Nigeria. Right. That is what the Nigerian people should be celebrating this morning.
I'm also getting reports from, Bayo Ononuga. He reposted the foreign ministry's statement about the joint efforts, but I think that he alluded to the fact that the attack also occurred in Zamfara State, Rufai. I don't believe I greeted you all this morning. Good morning to both of you. Yes, we're here to work. How are you this morning? Ruby on fire.
So he alluded to the fact that it also happened in Zamfara State, in Sokoto State. And see, the attack has just even sent shockwaves everywhere around the northern part of the country this morning. Let's not deny that fact. What do we want? We want an end to terrorism, right? So why are we complaining about the first step? Because this is decisive. I mean, for the very first time, we talked about the fact that America didn't give us weapons due to the Leahy laws. Anyway, they sold super tucanos to us once Trump came in the first time. We talked about the fact that we might not have capacity to be able to fight these
stringent constitutions.
Yes, for the use
of the
super tucano. Okay, but it was during Buhari's time that super tucano finally came in.
Yeah, but
the process has started.
Government got
so Buhari finally got that
initial process.
Secondly, we talk about the fact that we can't do this alone. That we need expertise from America, isn't it? Didn't we all argue across board that we need expertise? In fact, we also argued about boots on the ground, because I'm just trying to chronicle the conversation we had leading up to this. That's okay, maybe America can put boots on the ground and everything. So why, when America probably used a Tomahawk that I know that we don't even have in our ammunition commercial arsenal of fleets, because if I check the price of a Tomahawk missile, it's going to cost a lot. I'm not sure in anywhere in Nigerian arsenal we have it like a Tomahawk missile that can go about close to 1,500 or 2,500 kilometers. We use a long precision strike missile. It got in there. We had an attack. In fact, luckily or unluckily, the villagers have not complained of anything as regards a casualty. In fact, you can see the villagers hovering around there. It's just for us to be able to get a recce. Then why after that, we are now hearing narrative by some people that, hey, why must it be America? Secondly, some people are even trying to tell us to our face without providing facts that, Nigeria didn't do anything with America. It's America alone that did it.
Well, that was how Trump posted.
No,
I did like it was just at his command as commander-in-chief.
At least.
I mean, I thought that was,
we have seen
Trump style.
It's braggadocious.
Yes.
But we have seen from our own authorities that it was a collaborative effort. And you need intelligence here. And I've also pointed the fact that it's not today that we've had that level of intelligence.
Yeah.
Thirdly, then you now start to hear narrative about religious dynamics. All of a sudden, we all remember that. We all agreed leading up to this time that America should help us. Then the likes of Sheikh Gumi now say, I don't mind terrorists being killed, but as long as it's on holy hands like America, I have a problem with it. But the same Sheikh Gumi that doesn't mind on holy hands like America supplying aid through USAID that they used to feed poor children in the same northern part of the country, he doesn't mind the aid. The aid is not unholy. All of a sudden, to kill the bandits and the terrorists have become unholy. He said Nigeria Bush should go in there. Then the next narrative, all of a sudden they are now plotting, is the fact that when you look at this, it is denting our sovereignty. The same thing that Nigeria admitted that it's us and America that worked on this. So they choose to ignore that statement, and now they are now saying it's denting our sovereignty. Oji, see, the Nigeria that I know very well, in the coming weeks, it will continue. In fact, I think Shehu Sani has even come out to say this morning that Nigeria should know that going forward, that Nigeria still needs to solve its own problem internally and say, we know all these things.
Right.
But the question we are asking is, why is this strike all of a sudden causing jiggy and everything? Oji, you will get more of this reaction. It just shows that to a large extent, what we say we want, when we now start to see the results, some people don't get happy about it.
Right.
And we need to be careful.
All right.
Misinformation will continue in the coming days.
All right.
So you will see people trying to skew narrative. But please, let's stay tall. President Tinubu, on this, you have started the process. You know, I don't agree with you on a lot of things, President Tinubu, but on this, the process, started to end terrorism.
All right.
I know it will come with consequences, but stay tall.
All right. Dr. Abati, was, quite reassuring to see the Department of War by your Secretary of War, Peter Etse, respond in the manner that he did. And, I think that was a reassuring tweet that there was this collaboration between the United States and America. But, when we saw Donald Trump's tweet, how can you not... how can you fault some Nigerians that believe that this was an invasion by the U.S. without collaboration? Those are the sort of questions out there.
Trump will always be Trump.
Yes.
Trumpism. Yesterday I was saying that, Trump, either for negative or positive reasons, is the main subject of the year 2025 in terms of his interventions within the international space. Now, Trump has gone to Syria to have military operation, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Senegal, Somalia, and now Nigeria. And so, he fits into a pattern. And he's speaking also to the conservative Christian evangelist base in the United States, whom he had promised that he would defend the interests of Christians anywhere in the world. So there's that political subtext to it, to say, I promise to go after radical Islamists anywhere in the world. Now we're in Nigeria. But the clarification came from both the War Secretary, Pete Hegseth, and also from the Nigerian authorities who said this is about collaboration. And collaboration, cooperation has been part of this narrative. With the Nigerian government saying originally that, look, we want cooperation. With the Nigerian government proposing and achieving the objective of a Nigeria-US working group on the basis of which two delegations from the US came here and the National Security Advisor led a delegation to the United States. People must
Oh yes. Hmm. Why is that the Lagos they are blocking the progress of other states? This is a very big question and a very big thing to think about, because if you look very well, the thing happening in the country, it look as if it is only in one place they relocate everything to. It now look as if it is only that place, it is where life is. And it's because of how the country is being structured, and how they've been done, how they do everything in this country. Then it will now look as if it is only one side that development is coming from, not knowing that if you do to other place the way you are doing to the other side will be start developing like the section they are looking onto, because all the whole government, all of them that is into government, mostly the Yorubas, they believe that the Yoruba land, meaning the which is Lagos State, that it is functioning very well and it is doing very well because of because of they used to claim that it's because of their wise or because of their learned. Not. It's because of the way the country is being structured and the system which we are living into, because we are living into a country that that marginalize people and that turns things upside down, that will look that will look white and called it black. So that is the main reason. This issue of ports, relocating of ports to other states, down like Warri and other parts of the south, so that lets all those heavy containers, people that is buying load from outside the country, let other things start going to other states. But Sanwo, the Lagos State governor, they are now trying to stop it, because of they have now seen that once those things start leaving their location, their place, then those issue of power, they will start falling. That is why they don't want it to happen. But once you come out and start talking, and they'll be claiming that, and they want Nigeria to divide, or they want Nigeria to do this, to do that. But inside their mind, they don't want, because they are the main people that is benefiting a lot in this called one Nigeria. Because no matter whatever you are doing or whatever they are doing, they are benefiting in every sector in Nigeria. So that is the main cause. They don't want anybody to talk about Nigeria or to talk about Nigerian division. So even though this Tinubu, the way Tinubu is ruling Nigeria, they are happy. They are happy. Just that some of them that is poor, or some of them that has not been into government. So they will be crying. Some of them may be crying, but the majority of them, they are enjoying it. They are enjoying it. So they are, in fact, they are the one benefiting more in the government and more in one Nigeria of something. That is why they don't want anybody to talk about Nigerian division. So, my people, I would like to hear your comment down below. Like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. Let others see things going on in Nigeria. And if it is what we are saying, if it is true, I would like to hear your comments. And if it is false, I would like to hear your comments down below, for us to know your mind towards this issue of benefit and loss, those who benefit and those who did not benefit in this project of one Nigeria, because the days have come when everybody will start understanding where they belong to, not issue of forcing people, or issue of compressing people, making them to remain in a place where they don't want to remain. So that is what is there. So like, subscribe, and share for others to see things going on in the Nigerian system, in the country. And thank you for watching.